Bob Tomlinson, Poynette, softball head coach. Bob, I've been asking the girls about the challenge of getting back to state, not, knowing how difficult it is to do it once and then to get back. How has this team been able to stay focused enough and not be content with last season's championship and get back to state now?
Well, it's a different team, so it shouldn't have been too hard to just fit into our two program goals. Come out of the door every day, and when you go back in, be better than you were when you came out, and try to be the toughest opponent that everybody we play plays against. That's all we ever try to do. So all we talked about at the beginning of the year is that there was going to be a target on our back, and I said that's the last time we're going to talk about it. And that's the last time we've talked about any targets on our backs or anything like that. So it's just been a focus of getting absolutely better every day. There's always something to teach, and there's always something to learn. And that's what this is. It's the same thing it's been for 33 years, just trying to get better every day.
What have you been most impressed with about this bunch?
Well, we're a different kind of team. We had to figure out how we were going to score runs against good pitching and just what we were going to do there. And it wasn't any grand plan that came about. It's just we had to find a leadoff batter, and we put McKenna in there, and she's done pretty well. We had to find somebody who could bunt once in a while and still get on base, and Brittany fit that bill. And our top 6 hitters they've just been driving runs. And if you look at the stats, like one has 40-some RBIs and one right behind her has 20-some RBIs. So they've just been hitting the ball, and there's nothing magic about it. They just spend a lot of time at the batting cage working on their weaknesses when they're at the plate, so those weaknesses become a little bit stronger. That's just what it's been about.
The seniors obviously were all starters last year, back this year, but certain girls like McKenna, Kelsey, you mentioned, have stepped in as starters. Talk a little bit about her and some of the other newcomers to the starting lineup that have helped you guys this year.
Well, as far as McKenna goes, she was a starter last year for quite a few games. She started, I don't remember exactly what it was, but she started quite a few games last year as a starter and played quite a bit, so it wasn't anything new for her. Brittany and Samantha were on the varsity all last year, got a limited playing time here and there, but have stepped right up and in, and I thought that would be the case. They've done a great job defensively for us, and they've done a remarkable job hitting. Brittany has really done a nice job in our 2 spot. So that that's the young kids. We've got a freshman shortstop, and she got pushed by a couple of other sophomores, and we just didn't know what to do there, and we put her in there, and she's been excellent. So over the years, we just haven't beaten ourselves very often. That doesn't mean we've never beaten ourselves or we won't beat ourselves again, but we just tend not to beat ourselves in tight ball games.
Talk about the Waterloo game, I guess, the regional final starting there, and then the sectional final against Arcadia. I know that the final score didn't really show, but those are 2 pretty tough teams that you guys had to beat just to get to state. How will those games, do you think, help you guys now at the state tournament, having to go through two very tough teams to get there?
Well, I think we've moved on from those. Those were 2 tough ball clubs. We did a great job of coming back with 3 innings to play. They got challenged in the dugout when it was 4-0. I just looked them all in the eye in a huddle and said, all I said is, if there's one person in this dugout, whether it's a coach, a manager, or a player, who thinks this game is over, it is. If everybody in this dugout still thinks you have a chance to win, you do. And we went out and scored 3 runs and could have scored more in that inning. So they just responded to that particular challenge. There was no yelling and screaming. It was just that statement, and I could tell by the look in their eye that there was still a game on. The Arcadia game, I had a chance to watch Arcadia play, so I had a very good idea of what they could handle and what might cause them some problems when they were at the plate. Defensively, Arcadia is a nice ball club. We just happened to hit the ball very, very well that day and hit it where people were not playing. As far as how much those games have to do with what's coming up, I guess that's why you practice every day and try to get them into situations at practices and games, so you can use that experience in a game like the Waterloo game especially, where we'd been in those before. I think the Sun Prairie game this year was when we played Sun Prairie here in 11 innings and we could have won that game, that was a game we actually beat ourselves. And I think they all realized just how successful they could be that day. Sun Prairie's in the state tournament in Division I. So those are some of my thoughts.
I'm penny for your thoughts, huh? What was there a point during the season, I guess? You talked about the Sun Prairie loss. Was there a point during the season, maybe a different game, that you sense this team maybe take a little bit of a turn and kind of turn the corner towards being, the kind of team that got to state now?
I saw that the first day of practice out here on this diamond. The very first day, I saw what I had to see. I saw kids come to compete for positions, and we started working on what we call the good stuff the very first day, and they were having fun working on the good stuff. And then the tough stuff came, that came a little bit easier because we always mix in some good stuff, like how to home run trot. First day of practice, we worked on everybody's home run trot in case they hit a home run. And we had some girls that surprised themselves and hit home runs. Well, they knew how to do it. So that's what it's all about. It's about teaching people how to do something, and when it happens, they can act like they'd done it before. So on the very first day of practice, I could see that this was going to be a special team.
Talk about the eye black that they all like to wear. Huh?
I stay out of that stuff. I mean, everybody wears that stuff. Everywhere we go, girls are putting eye black on. Some of them have 2 or 3 wings. If we were still Indians, I'd call it war paint, but we're not. We're Pumas. So, I learned a long time ago not to mess with that 5-inch playing field up here. If that makes them feel good and more like a ball player, so be it. But I don't put eye black on myself, and I don't put it on them.
You're wearing sunglasses. You don't need it.
Right.
Does it seem to you like a part of their uniform when you look at them? They all wear it. To me, it kind of looks like almost like a part of the uniform, the way that most of them all kind of wear it.
No, I don't even really notice it. That's nothing that I would spend time thinking about at a ball game, whether they have their eye black on or. The only time I would ever do that is somebody complained about a glare. I'd say put some eye black on. That's enough. Let's go start getting some ground balls and fly balls.
I wonder how long it was going to take before we got one.
Well, that's not too bad. Only two of them. Most teams wouldn't be able to do that. We've been doing that all year long. That's just another one of those things we work on every day. Throwing on the run, off balance throwing drills. So what now?
Last question, I guess. Just scouting report and what you think it will take to win 2 games this weekend and win a second straight state title, which hasn't been done in your by you. You guys are such a great program. Haven't won 2 straight. What'll it take to do that?
Well, the easy answer is to score more runs than the other 2 teams. How you do that is not give them runs. But I don't have a scouting report. I really have nothing on Algoma other than what I saw on WIS Sports with their statistics. So I don't know, and I don't know if I will have one. So, but we play lots of teams that we don't know anything about, and when a batter steps into the batter's box, I like to think that I have a pretty good idea just by looking how she's standing and everything else, what we can do. And there's always certain pitches you can make to find out whether they can handle those pitches or not. You're not going to throw the first pitch to a strange hitter down the middle of the plate to see if she can hit it or not. You're going to throw a pitch to find out whether she'll even swing at it or not, if it's low and away or low and in or high and away or high and in. That's how you play this game. Is you got to try to find out what the other people's weaknesses are and put balls there, and then find out what the umpire wants for a strike today. Those are the 2 main things. Pitchers pitch. Pitchers have to throw pitches that batters and umpires think are strikes.
Anything else, Bob?
Nope.
Awesome. Congratulations. Good luck this weekend.